going on, everybody? Just thought I'd do a quick video, maybe get some responses back from everybody out there, whether you run for Schneider or you don't, considering where the freight market is right now. I'm confused. Running freight over here, the vast majority of it is contract freight, which means they're contracted at a rate. When they sign these contracts, generally the carrier is looking for an expectation of volume to what they're offering to haul for a company. And the company expects, the service of getting their product hauled. And that's why they agree to rates, for one, and the other is, they don't get hit with the spot market fluctuations. It guarantees a locked-in rate, correct? The problem I'm seeing is fuel surcharge right now is down a little bit because fuel prices are down, but it's not down significantly enough to account for the drop in the rates that I'm seeing for loads that we haul regularly for customers. Texas is not great even when it's good, but I'm looking at loads that are coming out of Texas. You're talking 60, 70 cents a mile, and that includes the 26% a mile fuel surcharge, because that's what it is right now. Last I checked, which was day before yesterday, it may have went down a penny or two, but the drop in fuel surcharge does not coincide with the large drop in rates that I'm seeing on a load board. Granted, freight on the load board is getting very scarce, but when things are good and the spot market's up, our rates aren't spot market rates. They're just not. It's contracted freight. But now that rates have dropped and freight has dropped on the spot market, we're seeing the same drops over here, which doesn't make sense to me. Just for the simple fact, it should be a set price. The customer that we haul for has agreed to a price to haul their freight. If I gotta live with rates dropping the way they're dropping, I might as well go work on the spot market. A lot of guys are complaining right now. We had this big brouhaha in Washington. It's funny to me, when things were really good and these guys were making, 3, 4, whatever a mile, not so much complaining about anything. But considering what the country's going through and the obvious drop in freight and obviously the drop in rates on the spot market, now they're mad because the rates are down. It fluctuates. If you're running a business, and again, I'm still wet behind the ears with this. I've been lucky to this point because I do haul for Schneider, and it is an easier process than it would be, working with brokers and operating on the spot market. I get that. But if you're running your business, you plan for the highs and the lows. You try to plan for all of it that you can. This was unexpected, but it's still. One thing I'm hearing is they want the government to step in and institute a minimum rate. That's stupid. Do you really? All we complain about all the time is the government being in our business on everything. And now they want the government to set a minimum wage in trucking. Do you really want to do that? Because you know what's going to happen. The minute the government sticks its foot in the door on that, rates are going to go in the toilet and everybody's going to be hauling minimum wage rates. That's it. That's it. And I've heard people say, well, you could specify that this only comes into effect when something like this happens. Trust me, if the government gets involved and they start setting rates, you've just destroyed the owner-operator world. You're going to destroy it. And the only ones that are going to survive something like that and would be happy with something like that are the mega carriers. Because now they're going to get it all. They're going to get it all. So deal with the low and then be happy on the backside when everything starts going back up again. You know, it's unfortunate. There are going to be guys that are going to, you know, they're going to lose in this. It's just the way it's going to happen. And, you know, my heart goes out to anybody that's struggling. I even with my costs being what they are right now, you know, it's not free and clear for me. I'm trying to find, you know, the best loads I can find. I will not haul $1 a mile freight. My costs are low enough to where I can say no. As long as I can. And, you know, obviously if this is drawn out a very long time, you know, that may change. It may change. It may have to change. But it's, you know, that's the way I'm looking at it right now. You know, if I don't have to haul it, I'm not gonna haul it. I'm not gonna do that. And again, getting back to the original point of the video, right now it's like living on the spot market here at Schneider. It just is. These rates are ridiculous. And again, a lot of it is contract freight. These rates should not be where they are. They should not be where they are. There's only one customer that the rates are still generally where they've been that I'm seeing. But there's another customer that's not even 30 miles from there. Their rates were pretty much coincided with the other one. Both of them in Arkansas, so if you drive for Schneider, you know probably who I'm talking about. But the other customer, their rates are garbage. Their rates are garbage. They got one load coming out of that location, still paying better than everything else. It's not as good as it was before all this started, but it's nowhere near what the other freight they're offering is at. Doesn't make any sense to me. So, you know, maybe somebody can clarify it for me or give me some enlightenment on what's going on over here, because I'm not seeing it. I've sent a message. You know, this loaded, I'm dropping off here in about another hour and a half. I want to know what the total rate on it was. Hopefully they'll send it to me. I've heard that if you go to Green Bay, you can see the total rate for a load. I'm not driving all the way to Green Bay just to see the total rate on a load. So I'm going to send a message to the BOA to send me that information if they can. Hopefully they don't hem haul on it, because this load, compared to what it was paying prior to this debacle, was better by about 20 something cents a mile better. So, you know, it is what it is. But you know, again, maybe someone can help me understand why we're hauling contract freight, which is supposed to be the safer freight, in times like these, but yet our rates are dropping. I know they didn't redo all these contracts right as this pandemic hit, because if they did, that would be a bad time. You know, anybody that's running on the spot market, you know, hit me up with a comment. Let me know what you're looking at, how things are going. You know, like I said, if I'm going to live on the spot market, I might as well go haul for a company that's where you live, is on the spot market. Just saying. You know, there's no time like the present, I guess, because this is getting ridiculous over here. You know, we're fighting with, you know, not fighting, but we're competing with other IC drivers over here. And we're also competing with the company trucks. I was telling the wife yesterday, we was coming down 57. I'm seeing a ton of company trucks hauling loads. But I'm not seeing as many IC trucks. So, and before it was just the opposite. On 57, I'd see a ton of IC drivers and, the normal volume of company drivers. But now, company drivers, they're all over the place. The pilot we stopped at yesterday, there was probably 7 company drivers sitting at that pilot. I was the only IC driver there. That was it. I mean, it could have just been coincidence, but I'm watching the road right now from a rest area, and trust me, I'm seeing a lot more company trucks hauling trailers than I am IC trucks. And a lot of guys may be sitting it out. But judging by the load board and the amount of freight available, I doubt that. Especially these guys with these high dollar lease payments. I think there's, just to be honest in what I'm thinking, I think there's a little rate gouging going on over here. Just because they know a lot of these guys have these high dollar payments, and they'd be willing to take less to try to keep that payment up. Just my thought on it. But, tell me what you think. Drop me a comment. Let me know. I'd appreciate it. As always, appreciate you taking the time. Be safe. We'll talk.